Greetings, blessings, salutations once again. Welcome back to Chats with Jack. Brothers and sisters, I am Jack Talcott. Here this afternoon, excited, a little inspired, hoping to share some thoughts on love. And I have already dropped the link, pinned it to the top of the chat for the viewers who do feel inclined to join. But part of my excitement today is anticipation of the future. You know, there's some cool things happening in the community today, which I may or may not talk about, but some fun anticipated for myself after the stream. So I'm excited, honestly, to get this done. But that's part of life too. We got things where we've been committed to, we've committed ourselves within, we're going to accomplish this. Other things come up, and then you're caught with that choice. What do I do? Well, my purpose is I hope to stay consistent, to be established and known as reliable. Sometimes people make that a challenge, but you know what? That's this adventure of our lives, brothers and sisters. Thank you. I'm kind of bouncing in a little bit. I found that by the grace of God, I can have caring in my heart, even for people that I don't understand or fully agree with. Amen, Sophia. And that's just perfectly timed for actually the intentions of what I wanted to talk about today. I was watching some real interesting discussions on the mystery of Golgotha, where Jesus was crucified, and the entire process, that entire story, it is a mystery. But I was listening to some really profound discussions earlier with a few realizations that, there were some pretty brilliant people in the past, some profound authors and really deep conceptual thinkers from a long time ago, hundreds of years ago. I'd never heard of many of them, or if I'd heard the name, I didn't really give them the attention that some of their thoughts were due. But so the discussion I was listening to is about how world changing that event, the sacrifice, crucifixion, resurrection of a man, how world changing that action was. And the greater topic of this discussion was trying to understand the Christ, the relationship between the Christ and God, the Almighty, the creator of all things. And the goal of this life is to realize the Christ. So the thought I had earlier today, along with the lines of this conversation, were, I can imagine that wherever you might be within this universe, that God may be realized, right? You can put two and two together to get the one Almighty, right? That the evidence of the creator is in the creation, but throughout all the universe, I wonder, is Earth the only place we can learn of Christ? Because maybe that's what makes Earth so magical and special, is the humanity that may emerge through it. And so that story from 2,000 years ago, it truly is, it's unbelievable. It really is. That one man can bring the healing, and not only that, but overcome torturous death. Miraculous, to say the least. But throughout time, man has had knowledge in varying levels and in varying groups, right? Different different theological ideas, different philosophies on living, Confucianism, Taoism, well, and capitalism and communism and all of these isms, man. Thank God we have the ability to learn from all of those things of the past to bring forth something new. And I truly think that what is new for our world is that which is old. Wisdom. Wisdom would be new for our world. Love, greater love would be new for our world. And I've spent a lot of time studying because I've really wondered about how humanity has evolved into this state of where we are today. Emotionally, intelligently, technologically. And it truly is. Human history is truly a fascinating story. And if you bring the divine, if you bring God and the Christ into the equation, it makes much more sense. See, life makes more sense when you bring God and the Christ into the equation. Speaking from experience, and this is taken from the earlier lecture I listened to, we are body, mind, and, well, built upon the earlier lecture. We are body, mind, and spirit. Okay? The physical body, the mental mind, the emotional and energetic spirit. There's a uniqueness and a singularity and individuality to each of us. But there's a spiritual, mental, and physical health, right? The spiritual disease is the rejection of God. Okay? Someone who is a devout atheist, if they've come to that irrational conclusion in their mind, they have a spiritual disease, a blockage that will prevent them from seeing. But it really simply requires, from my experience, it simply requires humility within. Once we can humble ourselves, go within to know thyself, and you'll realize how little you know. And see, that is the way to the Christ. Christ is to humble yourself to actually how powerless you might be, right? If you truly want to know yourself, where you started, what makes you, you try to put all those pieces together, and you start to recognize your lack of ability. And when we humble ourselves severely, that we are helpless in many aspects, we turn to the greater knowing, to the greater God. I hope this makes sense. We do have our first guest, and welcome, Snafu. For those who do want to join, please click the link.
Mr. Talcott, I guess I shouldn't be coming here according to other channels. I just came here to see if Mr. Tarek had something to say to you. I'm here for the, support. I guess it's bad to support you, Jack.
That's what I heard. I heard
It's a shame. It's a shame.
Yeah, it's so hilarious, the contradictions and hypocrisy that come out of many different people. So, yeah, I made a couple of clips from today, and so I'm curious what may come forth. I saw that Tarek and Paul's viewers were preloaded with an agenda, what they should do if they stop by. So it's interesting.
The optics are high, sir. The optics are high. How's your day been, Mr. Talcott?
Brother, today, thank you. today was actually, I've been practicing what I preach, honestly. I've been pushing myself away from the online stuff.
Okay, yeah, that's good. You didn't show up. You did not show. That's good.
Devoting more of my time to meditation, to prayer, and to exploring my options, trying to figure out what might I accomplish. So today,
Do you want to tell us any of those options you thought in your head? Like any, was there a few of them, or just one particular one, or?
well, nothing truly new has been realized, but I know that each day brings new, and all I can focus on is what I can do today, what I can do with the now or the near now. And so I got a couple ideas. I've got some hope on what may happen later today. One of the ideas, sorry, Tom, and welcome. One of the ideas, though, is that I clipped one of Paul's words where he's insisting upon evidence that I'm not worthless. And so that's perfect ammo. I've already shared it with a couple of guys I know, hoping to get
Jack,
an actual witness to come
You're
forward.
just dabbling, Jack. When I have the time, I'm going to have Paul arguing against Paul. It's going to be perfect.
Beautiful. I look
He
forward
says
to
everything he needs to hear. But as far as Snafu, I don't know how you can't see, dude, that what channel you're showing up and supporting is largely dependent on who you're cool with at the time.
Wait, what?
I'm everywhere, Tommy. Don't even get me
but I'm
started.
saying from day to
Jack,
day,
this
in
is
1
gonna
week.
get up
Okay, talk
fucking the
over me,
most.
bro.
I'd like to hear more about Jack's ideas and what he's doing here.
And then on Paul's show, you wanted to hear more of what I was going to say. And then you'll go to somewhere that they don't hate you and want to hear what
bring this back to
someone
Jack.
that likes you has to say.
Tom, please.
I'm going to leave, Jack. I just want to get this out because it's bad enough I can't settle the pedo thing up, but let me at least get this out.
You're admittedly one.
Talking.
Online.
Okay.
Everyone heard it.
In 3 days, Snafu, within the span of 3 days, you can be on Paul hating him, but once you're cool, you'll go back and say, "Oh, Paul's the guy."
Everyone, I go on their panels and what I feel and what I'd say. I'm the pogo guy, right? But Tarek is
tell
the
me
one
why
who
I should
switches
be
up. So I'd be
adopted like
cult
you're
members
getting
that
adopted.
start
You're
following
saying
Paul
Paul's
and
adopting
following his
you.
lies. But I've always
Just
been
stop
honest with
rambling,
Paul, Jack.
Snafu.
Everyone I
Stop
go to,
rambling and stick
whoever
to
I
the point.
address, I always stay true
Stick
to
to
what
the
I
point,
stand for.
Snafu.
And you,
If I should be adopted by Paul like you, why are you over there hating him today?
well, I want you adopted. I do.
I don't need adopted. I'm a grown-ass man that's wealthy.
I need you to get adopted. No, they need to be sending you that money for Paul's bits. Jack's bit is worth more than all of us.
See, stay
Paul's
on
made
that. Stay focused.
Here's the deal. He's made
Stay
lies.
focused.
And you know what? Me and you have our own issues, but when it comes down to Paul,
No,
he's lies.
I only have the issue.
People question him. And
you
then
ain't got no issue with me but spreading lies.
Oh,
My
no,
issue is with you.
what I called you out for. And then you were
You
fucking
ain't called me out for nothing that hasn't been disproven, Snafu.
You admitted
and then
it.
you clutch to it.
And that's not even fucking what people don't even know behind the closet of Tommy fucking. I mean,
okay, final words, Jack. My final words is anything I admitted to. Let's see the clip. Let's see the clip, Snafu.
Okay.
Okay, that's your final words. Thank you.
Sorry. Can we bring this back to how you were thinking about what you were changing and doing and
please thank you.
Oh, Simple Jack. Mr. Simple Jack.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate the contributions, my friend.
See, and that's the contradiction what Paul says about you. You do got people who care.
You know what? I know I do.
I know I do too. People don't get it, but I also know what's going on in this game.
Rob G, this question, do I really need to answer this question? Have you ever tried to solve a small problem? Maybe you're reaching too far. Always talking about ending war, that's a huge feat. I don't see any accomplishments other than we need to do. Rob G, what is your confusion? I'm a recovered, not recovering. I am a recovered alcoholic. I have overcome
Jack, that's a
my
triggering troll account.
you know
You know what
what?
troll accounts are, right?
Yeah, many
You
of
know,
these
Rob
people think,
G, just like
yeah.
Rob Cleveland, he's a G. But I mean, maybe it's not. I'm just telling you, you can't let those little fucktards trigger you like
Hey,
that. Fuck him.
I'm not triggered. It's just
Okay.
it
Who saw
really
yourself?
well here. It does sadden me. It saddens me that we live in a society that has so little regard for each other and for what is true. You know,
I guess that's
everyone.
where you and I have our kind of like, because you and I kind of butt heads too. And that's why I even told Paul, I said, I don't agree with Jack at all. I don't agree with you, Paul, at all. Like, like I agree with some of the things you say and some things he says. I keep it real like that.
Well,
And Jack, you do put out a lot of stuff out there. I think you can implement ideas and you just got to go with the flow. But some of these people are here to just like get you riled, man.
Well, I know, but this is what's bizarre. I'm sitting here prior to this talking about God, talking about surrendering oneself to the Christ that's within, right? That's actually the topic of what I've been discussing. See, and then right before this stream, I was thinking about that earlier thought I said about God may be known throughout the universe, right? The intelligence and spiritual nature of God may be recognized anywhere.
Hey, I'd like to
But
say to that comment, I said it was a troll comment, not a troll account necessarily, but either way, it was to trigger Jack. You know what you fucking put that comment up there for. See, that's what I don't like, Jack, the ignorance of these people.
that's my point. The egoic, the ego that has been conditioned in this world, all these people that are so focused on the results, Paul unslaved, on this fiat nonsense. That's
There's
all
many
just
of them, though.
practice of the past,
And there's,
materialistic.
and there's many of them, Jack. And that's what I
Well,
said. Like, that's why when we talk, we butt heads sometimes, but I see where your heart and where your goals are. I
right.
absolutely do.
Well, this is just it, is we are, I know what is true about our God. It's undeniable. It's just simply has to be understood and accepted. And I'm doing my best to explain
Well,
the relationship I've developed, the
yeah.
understanding from within me.
One of my favorite scriptures, whether you take it poetic or biblically, whether you believe or non-believer, is Proverbs 3:5. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, lean not on your own understanding. And you could take Lord as a higher power. You have to turn the doorknob
Yeah.
to open a door. You have to have the sun for chlorophyll. You know, my whole thing is we may not understand, but we have our own understanding. But trust in the Lord, trust in your higher power, trust. And faith, as you've talked about.
Right. Right. I know all of this, Snafu. So
Right, you've
I'm
talked
the
about it.
one
That's what I'm
who's
saying. I'm just
looking
saying
at
that's one of my
faith.
favorite verses to what you talk about when you talk about faith.
Thank you. I know. Well, the Lord is that which has been guiding me. And frankly, I don't really appreciate the way many people have chosen to respond to me
I thought it was
following.
pretty. I thought it was pretty shallow of Tarek to say that he supported you. Now, I was pretty. I told Paul that's what I was trying to get, but he kept backstaging me. I was like, why would Tarek, after listening to Paul bag on you, say, "Well, maybe I shouldn't treat Talcott the way I think as a man have decided to evaluate and treat this man." And he said he came in here to push you up, and now he's like,
I'll
"Oh,
tell you
fuck
what,
that." And
hey,
I'd like to
Snafu,
hear if he comes up
Snafu,
here.
right, until Tarek gets here, let's not worry about it. Maybe we can talk about what I'm discussing. That'd be a
Go,
wonderful novel idea.
go ahead.
Well,
What are you munching on?
that's my nicotine, which I've still not set aside, but
Oh, the
it'll be
pouches.
no.
Oh, just like straight up fucking
Oh,
leaf.
hey, here's something I realized. I come on here to share what I find of value. You know, I'm sharing the knowledge that I have freely. And Paul and others choose not to listen to me because I have money, because I don't have money. And I thought, maybe if I had money, people would listen to me. But all that really does is reveals the shallowness and the absolute ignorance of the state of this world right now. People around me, in my experience, Paul especially, and many others, have no respect for knowledge, just what they think. So welcome, Flo.
What is up,
Mr. Flo.
Mr. Snap, Mr. Talcott?
Hey, talking about some various perspectives on the Christ, on love, and on what might be real. And hey, Flo, you shared that Ian, what was it? Ian McGilchrist? Is that his name?
Oh yeah, that video.
Dude, that was I love talks like that. And what he was talking about with the patterning of the logical mind, it makes perfect sense, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, I watched that a few days ago, and within like it was right after one of your streams, one of the ones where you got all pissed off, and I was listening to this right afterwards, and I was like, oh shit, Jack's in his right brain, and the rest of us are on our left brain, and we could all probably use some centering.
Hey, Flo, that is exactly it. The common mindset of this world is trapped in the left brain. The left brain is all the details, all the yeah, it's the selfish part of us. It's the one that structures it, but we're beyond that. And I'm not entirely in my right brain. I do live in this physical world, but I do live different than most, I think. Hey, and sorry, to correct the record, Mr. Paul Unslaved and many others have been painting this bullshit narrative about Jack living rent-free for 5 years, blah, 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 blah. I worked my entire life in slave jobs, saving my money. Okay? So the fact that I've been able to live very modestly and through the ups and downs, most of it, the majority has been on my life's earnings. So for people to fucking paint the picture of me that they have, it just truly, well, it only saddens me when I care about me.
Well, I think, they make assumptions, and then when we tell them our assumptions, they don't like it, and they get very triggered.
The ego reacts to the truth. And the trigger, each of us is just messengers, but when we're truthful, the trigger it reacts from within us. But what I think
Right,
happens,
and you can tell when people get triggered. You know their behavior, you know how they are, and then when they get more, Paul was very triggered today, and it was obviously when it came to the subject of you.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, because I was defending you, it came on me, but he pushed it off on me, but it was really you, the subject of you, and he was very triggered. I noticed that, the optics.
I saw that. I was laughing because I'm frustrated with him. But here, back to the topic. Between God and the Christ, this world is where we get to learn of Jesus, of the Christ. And this world is where we get to learn of that nature of humanity, right? Because the world doesn't really show us the Christ very clearly. It shows us the Antichrist and all sorts of profit motivated deception. So to me, I defined the Christ a long time ago in my own way, but today I was reconsidering the role of Jesus here on earth, the role he showed in his words, his teachings, and his deeds. He was the love of God, right? The love of God is accepting. It is not only accepting, but with praise. It is praiseful of God. The Christ is in
Holy,
praise of God.
holy.
Hey, brother, the Christ is within all of us.
Oh, Talcott.
It is.
No,
Oh,
you know what?
and
It's funny. I love your passion, bro. You know what?
hey,
I know what you're doing. I know what you're after, and I do think I'd like to hear you're talking more about your thoughts on your plans. And you say you, and I know you have many of them, many things and avenues you could do. I want to know, real talk, man to man. Are you going to be implementing them very soon to prove these little fucktards wrong, even if it's small?
I think that if you have uh, aggressive aspirations, law of attraction, snafu, I guess is what I'm saying.
That's
Uh,
true.
you're
I
more
get
likely to
that.
succeed with good reasons.
with good,
Absolutely. He,
reasons.
he
Yeah,
said it. He
yeah,
basically said what I was saying.
yes. Well, here, the last part of the Christ I was thinking about is healing. We can share healing with each other through the praise of God, sharing the truth, sharing the love of one another, and the love of God. If we truly love life, give it up to a force of creation, right? And loving life, that's the way to know who you are and what the world is for. But you got to love yourself. And it's easy to love yourself when you are walking in the throne of your mind, walking with the sight and the awareness of the Christ. Walk with Christ through the moments of your day, and it's easy to love yourself. It really is. No matter what all these asshats want to say, I know who I am. I know my value. I know you asked for what the plan is. Snafu, I've got a lot of ideas and a lot of different directions that this message, this movement, this brand, this business, whatever,
Good
it
for
can
you.
grow.
Good for you. Keep doing it, man. I'm interested. Is that the real Paul enslaved in your chat?
I think it probably is. Oh, and here, this cracks me up. This is
Yeah,
why your
that
family left,
exact comment I was
and why
reading.
you have no real friends
Interesting.
around you. This
Because he's a nice
being,
guy? I don't think so.
what is he talking about? This by being myself, by being honest and full
Well,
of
that's what
praise.
I'm saying. I don't know. That's why I was reading that comment. I do not understand it.
Sounds like generic rage.
Like rage, like rage, or jealousy, or what do you think? What,
Like
I
just
want to ask you, Flo. What okay, real talk. I want to ask you, Flo. What do you think Paul's thing with Jack is? I know Paul's benefited. We tried telling him earlier today. Paul got very seriously triggered today. He took it out on me for Jack, but it was a whole Jack thing. And I'm curious. What is your opinion with Paul and Jack?
um well, I think it's he's possessive. I don't know. I think
That's a
it's
good
the
word for you.
audacity of people to do things that he doesn't approve of. It's a power game. And how dare Jack, do what he doesn't want, and how dare we enable it, and how dare anybody not come to heal for the God of all media. That's
Okay, no, I was just curious. I was curious because I know that's pretty much everyone's thought that I know. He says there's very few to little, but I'm not sure. But I just didn't understand that comment, Paul, and that's why I was curious, Jack. That's all I'm saying. I didn't understand it either.
Hey, You just reminded me of one of the clips of enabling. It's absolutely, it's right in front of the face. Paul describes it perfectly.
At that point, you can't save him from himself. His ego is unbound. He projects onto everyone what he's doing in the moment. You can't make him think he's not crazy. Quite the opposite. He has to realize he's disconnected from life and truth.
This is literally Paul describing himself more accurately than I could. I can. I mean, I can describe it too, but
it's amazing. It's amazing.
Here.
On life and truth's terms. He wants to rewrite the rules and the universe in his own image. He's not God.
Paul.
And the more you all keep padding his ego and treating him like a child, the more he's going to keep acting out and tantruming and taking it out on everyone.
Tarek.
Yep. Jesus Christ.
That's that point. You can't save him from himself.
It's fucking unbelievable that he doesn't. I've repeatedly encouraged Paul, please listen to your words. Think about what you're saying. He's describing himself, but guys, this is what the ego does.
This is not what the ego does. This is not normal ego.
Dude, I was in the conversation. He got so triggered. He was like, "Oh, you want to meet up?" Blah 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 blah. Even Mitch, he got triggered, but it was really because he's triggered about Jack. He's triggered, and he didn't. And then he was mad about Tarek, and Tarek kind of bitched out because he was like, at first, like, I got Jack's back. I think he's doing good, pushing him up. And then because Paul don't fuck off, we don't support Jack. Tarek's like, "Oh, maybe you're right." And that's what I was questioning Tarek. And then Tarek's like, "Well, you fuck Jack, blah blah." And that's why everyone's like, "I wonder if he's gonna come here." But Paul, really, honestly, dude, I don't understand. Like, Jack, his family, all that has nothing to do because what? He's nice? I don't think Paul knows anything he claims on many of us. That's the thing. Many of us.
Guys, Paul, he's a man that many love, and they have been enabling his thuggish behavior, but that's not what our world needs right now.
These people are trauma bonded. It's trauma bonding. And they fight, and what Paul does is he meets people, and then he instantly looks for their boundary so that he can break it, and that establishes a precedent. It's 101 cluster B behavior. It's and that's so now we've established the terms of the relationship, right? You're a slave, or the person's not going to fuck around with him, right? So
hold on, Sophia. Please, actually, it is healthy to be here because what we're doing is sharing actual discussions about what is true.
It's okay. We don't know why it's not healthy for her. You know what I mean?
Amen. My thought meant to either what was observed here on the panel or else some of those in the chat. And I know criticizing Paul triggers people. It's fucking hilarious.
Well, yeah, she wasn't saying the same thing in Paul's chat. Fucking when you were getting bombed, when I was getting bombed, when Mitch was getting bombed, when we were getting back, Sophia didn't fucking say, "I can't handle this shit."
As Flo said, I don't know the context of that comment statement.
True, but there are optics to that.
But brothers and sisters, there is something amazing happening in the greater picture. There really is.
Boy, that was a hard right turn. You didn't even slow down at all. We just this topic now.
Well, to change the world, it's actually I don't know. I don't know what's going to work, what's not going to work, but I know what worked for me. And changing the way I see the world allowed me to believe that I could change it. So, I have to believe.
I think you're learning lessons every day.
I am.
I must say.
Thank you.
I think you're learning lessons every day too of like the fuckness of the world, like the fuckery. No, like it's a laughing matter to you, right. But because I talk pogo all day long, I have my different journeys. Okay, metaversely, But we know realistically, dude. I mean, I tell people all day. I said, wait until the grid, everyone's Hollywooded up here. The things, the optics, like we're lucky we have panels. We could talk shit and just wrap it. Do you know other countries don't even have access to this kind of shit that we're doing right here, bitching, whining, talking? I mean, it's incredible the things we take for granted.
I don't know. Yeah.
Hold on. Let me, if I may. This is again huge. I don't know that I've ever seen your comments before, but you should see the Unslaved show.
No, you shouldn't. It doesn't matter. We're not talking about us right now. We're talking about Paul. So
well,
shut up and sit down and watch the show while we talk shit on Paul.
I am talking about us. We're he's not better than us. Everyone has their own truth here, so we are talking about us and him.
Yes, please. I wanted to come back to what Snafu was saying, though, too. We're seeing the ignorance and the flying monkeys, describing just absolute denial. Hypocrisy is what I'm seeing. People who want to accuse here of what Paul is actually doing, just like he does. Anyway, the greater picture, though, is like Snafu said, not only am I working on improving my own emotional intelligence, my own mental capacity, my own greater understanding of this world we're sharing. This world is filled with darkness and corruption that is so blatantly obvious. But if you don't know how it got there, it really just may not seem as bad as it is.
Agree. Right? And
Yeah, you know how I feel about the law of attraction, right? And I've expressed that I'm reluctant, or I'm hesitant to sort of get down in this sort of mud with Paul, but I do think that there's actually legit value, because a lot of people are naive as fuck, and a lot of people are broken as fuck, and so sometimes just pointing at something and saying what the fuck it actually is valuable.
It is. But the other side, pointing out where there's problems and things that can be improved, that is important. But some of this nonsense of daily just complaining for entertainment, it's like,
there's not a lot of value there.
No.
It's just self-indulgent douchebaggery. But I do think that's something worth mentioning, because I'm not just here, like all over the metaverse, especially on YouTube, though, where there's a higher concentration of narcissists than other social media, which is amazing. But
and criminals and traitors and frauds and pedos. Don't forget pogos.
Right,
real shit.
right. Yeah,
real
all
shit
the
on this
pogos.
metaverse, dude. Real
look,
shit.
People need to be careful revealing information about themselves that can be weaponized. That's
it's more dangerous than most understand. That's absolutely 100% true.
It is and it is not. Okay, here's part of that paradox and the contradiction. Excuse me.
I think even with third-party contracts, Jack, with government, like military-industrial complex-wise too. Just before you say what you're saying, because I think the whole social media game was created for a reason. Internet, period.
Well, all things are for a reason. They can be for the light, for the dark. All that matters is what we do with the time we have. And
be mean to each other.
Be mean to each other? I know, that's what some people think. But I think we can help each other improve without all the insults and beating each other down, rubbing the face in the dirt, show how worthless the scum and infidels are. We can actually recognize that there's a Christ within me that is accepting and loving. And there's a spirit of Christ within all life. And that's what we're supposed to recognize. What I won't say supposed, what we are allowed to, what is within our ability. We have the ability to do this.
I think that hold on, Snafu, real quick. Jack, I hear you. You're not wrong. I think that
personally, I think that you spend too much time looking for the clean piece of a turd to touch. You know, if you're gonna pick up, you can't pick up a piece of shit by the clean
It's
end.
like when
So-
that joke cool guy fucking ate the fucking French fry off the shit rock.
Hey,
Why did Sophia think I'm hateful? I'm curious why Sophia first said she's leaving, but she's still in your chat saying I'm hateful.
please
All right.
allow her to be.
Yeah,
Doesn't
and
matter.
Snafu, I will say that, like, even though I agree with you on abortion, like, you were out of control with some of your
Hell
shit
no.
recently. Yeah,
Yes,
you are.
You don't
Yeah,
stand up
you
for
are.
innocent babies being ripped apart.
Look,
fucking
shut
abused
the
by
fuck
little
up, man. Look,
bitches like barely.
what's done is done. You're not
Right.
helping anything. You're
But
just
when
you're
she's
increasing.
shaking her ass 3 days later and still,
All
it's
right, so
disgusting. It's just
all right.
it makes me want to puke.
just
Hold on.
completely ignore what you're being told.
I know, but I do
Yeah.
want to puke, dude. I gotta be
Snafu.
honest. Puke.
Please, Snafu. Okay. Please receive what Flo offered to you. Okay.
No, I
As
get it, but
friend-
I'm
okay,
so
now
disgusted with
stop.
the whole
There's a reason I'm
situation.
talking,
And
Snafu. There's a reason I'm talking. The other part to this is we've got John Thomas here in the back, and I don't want this to turn into another debate on religions and opinions on what people think of history, please. Okay, so this accusation, that was a wise observation for you to consider. We've got to pay attention. Is it our place to judge and to slander and to cast negativity? No. And hey, Paul, yeah, I'd love to meet up with Mitch and you, Snafu. I'd love to meet up with
Why aren't
all
I
of you.
invited?
That's a silly question, Flo.
Jack,
Why
I
is
know
it
you're
so?
saying we don't have to cut each other down and do all that to make our points, but Flow State's not one of those people
Why?
because he
He's
runs
mad
around
because I
calling,
don't think he's religious.
because he goes around calling people a moron. He uses his things as a weapon. I mean, meanwhile, he's
You
the guy
think
that
he's alone
was
in
a
that?
Proud Boy, running around calling everybody moron.
John, are you describing Paul or Flo?
When
I'm
did I?
talking
Who did
about
I call
Flo.
him moron?
Wow.
Did
This
I
was
call you
out
a
of
moron,
nowhere.
John?
You called me a moron 2 days ago, brother. See, you can't
Did I?
remember. You need to
Hey,
stop.
hold on. Once again, John, you're coming up here with resentments. Go deal with your resentments elsewhere, my brother. We can move forward with thoughts of love. Love includes acceptance. It
And hey,
includes.
I don't remember it. I'm not mad at you. I'll apologize for calling you a moron if I did. I don't remember doing so. I don't remember the
So
context.
see,
but
that's
sure.
how flippant you are with your words, brother.
What? I'm giving you an
Hey,
apology. What the fuck do you
John,
want, man?
look at yourself, dude. Pull the beam out of the eye before looking at the sliver of another, right, John? How
He
do you
lives in
talk
fear,
to
brother.
others,
He
John?
lives
How,
in fear.
John? I'm sorry, I was speaking over you. What,
I'm just saying he lives in fear. He wants us to run
John?
around being careful of everything we
Hey,
say.
John.
How does he
let's
live in
look
fear,
at
though?
you for- Let's look at you for just a moment now, John. Okay, because each time you've in the past patterns you've brought into this panel, you're bringing resentments and criticisms. Who in the hell are you to judge? You are not, John.
Well, I mean, he judged me. He told me I don't believe in anything I've said, and I use it as a weapon. And he didn't
Okay,
tell
so
me.
I remember that, and I'm standing
who,
by
bro?
that. But
Who do I use it as a weapon against, brother?
Stand
you
by
know
the
what?
truth,
Didn't say
yeah.
that part.
John, I'm allowed to have my opinion on you. I told it to you. It's an honest opinion. I still have it. I apologize for calling you a moron. I don't recall it, but I assume that I probably did because I was being fairly rude. Now,
But is it rude if it's fucking validated?
I mean, so are you going to accept the apology for the name calling and
Screw you too,
that
Snafu.
What?
John,
Is it
please
validated?
engage.
You
Hey,
asshole.
John. Hey, John. Please
Yeah, did you hear what
deal
Paul
with-
was doing to all of us earlier today, or what YouTubers?
Okay, I'm sorry, Snafu, to interrupt. I know you're probably accurate in what you're offering. Well, John, you
Did he
solved
just
the
leave?
solution. Yeah, I was going to ask John to deal with one conflict and disagreement at a time.
I thought I was pretty reasonable.
You offered an apology.
Yeah, for where I
People
was.
are
Yeah.
fascinating. And Flo, thank you for the way you probably handled it better than I do. I'm learning how to be more kind in these disagreements. Maybe
Well, I just
that's
don't
why.
take. I don't take them personally, really, because I recognize that, and you can recognize this, but just by looking at your own actions. Whenever somebody's lashing out about something, it's really not about the target of the attack nearly as much as it's about everything else in their own life. So, yeah.
It's very true, Flo. And that's something I try to point out myself. We really don't know what's going on inside of someone. Why
And
they're
even if it was about me, like I still just don't really give a fuck. you know, you know. I don't know. It's
Hey,
it's nice not having a lot of fucks left.
this is hilarious. Paul, Tarek, are you there? Hello? And here's the proper interpretation. Tarek, come attack Jack for no reason, so you can still be in the cult.
It's like the blood in, right? Like he's got to haze himself into the gang.
It's like, oh my goodness. I actually felt bad for Tarek for the way that Paul was representing him and his support. Okay. That
I
was not
missed it.
fair. It was not fair to Tarek, and it was just a continued disrespect at me. That's what Paul's doing. I think he's jealous.
Yeah.
And you know, children that are jealous, they want to damage and lash out at that which makes them feel. Feelings are scary, man.
Well, I mean, jealous.
So,
If you get jealous and then mad at the person you're jealous of, you're interpreting the signal the wrong way. It's not that anybody did anything to you. It's that you're not measuring up, and you need to fix something about yourself. So, do better.
well, hey, actually, in all honesty, I did recognize that in myself a long time ago.
Yeah,
Right?
no, yeah, and I have too. I mean, that's why I'm speaking kind of confidently about it because I've
Sure.
been there, done that.
Well, it's admitting the jealousy. See, it's easier to find a reason to look down on people and overlook the good. And that's what I see happening often. People get arrogant, they dismiss the good, they find the negative, and then they want to put people down. It's like, no. What we can do though with the bigger picture of this, I don't know how it's going to happen. There was questions earlier. What are my plans? My plans are to live the rest of my life as me. Honestly,
That's not a plan.
dude. Hold on. I got a spider that's been bugging me for a while. I'll be right back.
Oh yeah, fuck those spiders. I don't mess around with spiders. Let me check out the chat. I haven't looked at the chat at all. What's up, chat? Chris Ross, thanks for fuck nuts. Paul, thanks for fuck nuts. Hi, Regina. You tell me what's up. Snaggletooth, the unmystical trailer trash tranny. Jesus Christ.
Hey, thank you.
What a
Flo.
name.
But hey, what that was, damn spider'd been running around my laptop for a while, and just now
Oh my God. No way. You're way too chill about that. You know how big of a bitch I would have turned into immediately?
What kind of
No,
fucking spider was it?
I don't know, just a little brown one, but he was crawling on my arm. So I took him outside. See, I don't hurt anyone or anything if I can avoid it. I really don't. And I have a reputation in this town of someone to be avoided. And then I got clowns like that asshat Paul telling all his followers and fans that they should avoid understanding me. It's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, it's just classic textbook narcissism. Isolation, right? Isolate the that's
It's I don't know.
Well, is he here? He's in your chat. He could come up. Tarek, I was hoping Tarek would come up.
He's
I like Tarek, even though like he's I don't know where Tarek will land, but like I'm gonna be honest.
Smarter for state.
I don't know that I think that he's smarter, but I think that he's well intentioned at least. I could be getting tricked, but I don't think he's malicious in the way some of them are.
No, I don't either. I think he's easily manipulated, and because he had to question himself on how he thought about his ideals and beliefs on Talcott in an instant after Paul fucking gave his little bullshit speech. Then he's like, "Oh, well, maybe you're right." And I mean, I thought he would like. I mean, you know, people when Paul talks shit on people, they still have their own opinions on people. Like they're not going to be swayed. It's just really sad to see the swaying of some bullshit.
Well, what it is an insecure ego that insists on controlling the narrative. And I was thinking about this early, the Dunning-Kruger effect. Paul is a very well-read man, but he doesn't.
No, he's
he
not.
doesn't apply what he knows.
He does the same thing that fucking wizard does. He says shit that he made up because he knows nobody else has the knowledge to call him out on it.
Some of that, but I won't dismiss the the source. I mean, there's a lot of
not every single thing, of course, that comes out of his mouth, but it's a frequent enough occurrence that it's, you know, I don't know the Tao well enough to call out the Tao, but every now and then I'll Google something and go, that's not in the fucking Tao.
Tell you what, this is fascinating. This is watching from Chris. I again, I found reasons to like Chris. I mean, his story actually, you know, getting locked up for standing and fighting for what he believes in, truly.
What? I don't know. I haven't heard that story, but I'm starting to be real suspect of every single story where people are getting locked up for good reasons, right? Like, how many martyrs are there on YouTube being toxic?
Well, hold on.
You can look my shit up. If you get locked up, it's all public record.
Here, the point of what I was saying, though, is he's so closed-minded regarding me. He's so culted up to Paul, and Paul he knows says no wrong, does no wrong.
Well, and then they get mad at you guys for calling out Daddy.
Member.
That's what it is. Like when he calls us out, like says you're nothing, you're worthless, you blah blah blah. And then when we say, well, what about you? In whatever aspect it is, we're not being hateful necessarily. He takes it that way.
Well,
hey, can I give Chris Rosta some props?
For you may.
Chris Rosta is one of the longest running Paul viewers that not only originated sitting there on cam doing nothing for the whole broadcast, but he also never pushes back when Paul is obviously wrong.
That's interesting. That's
props to the Rosta. It's a culted mentality, dude. Culted ones.
Here, this is funny. V, you're partially right. You missed some. Topic of tonight's show for anyone just joining is the grade school drama that we've all experienced firsthand from the Paul Unslaved clown and his
pretty much. Come up here.
Clown was harsh. I don't mean he's a character. Yeah, the character he puts on as a clown. Sucking your dick. You're a fool, Paul.
Mm-hmm.
When you learn the truth,
Steve, I'll be on the show. Sorry.
Look forward to it.
Oh, look at that. Look at that. Look at that homo request.
I would like to see him and you chat it out.
Hey, here's the deal.
There ain't no chatting it out with Paul.
Well,
you either suck his dick or you shut up.
That's
only if he controls it. Only if he. That's why he asked.
That's what I just said, Snafu.
OGW and all his little Vega boys.
That's what I'm saying, Snafu. Good, Snafu.
Well, I already know. You already see the optics. I know you do. You mentioned
I
it
see
already.
your optics, you burly
I see
homeless
your
fool.
optics, but let's
You
not even
don't
get
see
in that.
shit.
I'm just saying you're absolutely right about that, though. But he controls the panels.
I'm right about
But if
him.
he can have
I'm
a
right about
conversation
you.
if he doesn't control the panel. I believe he could. Now, is he going to believe it, or fucking is he going to be egotistical and think you're fucking wrong? He won't be able to backstage you. He'll have to talk his way out of it, but it just makes him look worse.
Well,
So,
here,
Snafu, let me give you a little clarity here. When you're sitting here asking, like, what do you think the deal is with Jack and Paul? I was there, bro. You came over here after having beef with me on Goblin's panel, and you're acting like you're something.
tell you what, can we stop focusing on problems and disagreements? And actually, we can move away from the topic of Paul, honestly.
Well, then why have him back, Jack? You're the one that can't give him up.
He's not here, Tom.
Well, not
You're
today.
the only one bringing him up. Okay?
Christos.
We have been
Don't
talking.
start this shit, Jack. I will burn you.
Tom, I'm telling from now.
You just pawed me. You just pawed me to the back when you got mad.
So what? Get over
Well,
it.
then you're a hypocrite.
According to you. And if that's if that's the totality of your conclusion of me, you're an ignorant fool, Tommy. And I've been patient with you and I've been kind over and over. Welcome, Christos.
Hey. So I just wanted to bring up right now that one of the last times that J-Hub was on, he had mentioned like the most recent times he was coming over to your channel. It was always about, Paul and like this drama and Dragon Paul, and it's like we've been on a loop here. So I'm glad right when I came up, seems I came at a good time because you said let's stop talking about Paul, and you totally changed the direction. I think that would be great because I saw that J-Hub was vibing over here, and he was also actually having some good convos over at Paul's.
Christos, why do you think that we're talking about Paul? Why do you think we're talking about Paul? Why do you think we're talking about Paul?
I don't think that
Who's talking about Paul, Christos, right now?
Ultimately in this.
Who's talking about Paul right now, Christos?
Paul or Jack.
Christos, hey, we're trying not to talk about Paul. Why are you coming over here to talk about
A
Paul?
lot of people like the loop and the drama.
Why
but
didn't you just change the subject? Say it's nice outside and fucking the mountains are good. Why'd you talk about Paul, right?
Or vice versa.
Christos, can you hear anybody? Do you hear anybody? Can you hear us?
Yeah, and Flow State was cutting me off, so I just kept trying to speak there.
Did
you
catch what he was asking? No, I was interested in what he was trying to interrupt with. I know it might have been not to your liking at that moment, but I thought it was a fair question. Did you hear what his question was, or did you just ignore?
I'm here listening right now. I didn't ignore anything. There was a lot of chaos.
Yep. You're the one who started talking about Paul.
Well, here.
No one else. We were off it.
Snafu, stop, please. The question that was asked is, why do you think we might have been talking about Paul?
Because it's been a loop. That's been
you said let's move on. We all moved on.
Okay. Well, Snafu, hold on. Let me deal with this just for a few minutes, please. Okay. So, Christos, what involvement does Paul have? Okay, you saw the action. So the ego says the ego only cares about what, right? I'm going to use you as a teaching example, so it's fun, right? The ego cares about what, right? Doesn't actually seek meaning. It just wants information. And then once it finds a little information, it jumps to a conclusion that fits its narrative. And that's what back up. So I'm really hoping we can break the narrative that you and many others have been looping on.
I kind of just find an oxymoron that people say, hey, why you talk about Paul? Why you talk about Paul? But he talks about all of us.
You guys keep looping over here with the same thing about Dragon Paul. It's this weird toxic relationship. this push and pull
Christos,
that's been going on
Christos.
like since I showed up on the YouTube scene
Hey,
here.
Christos. Yes. Okay. So we've identified
One
the
foot
same.
in, 1 foot out.
Christos. Yep. We're in agreement on what you're seeing. Okay. So now we're going to press in a little bit more about the why.
Are we?
Or you can stay ignorant. I don't give a shit. You want to stay ignorant? Lee?
He's intentionally ignorant.
I know. I'm trying to help the young man, but
Here we
He doesn't
go.
want to be helped. If
is
there
he
was
not
ever a poster child for beta males, it would be Christos. He is the most clean cut beta male.
the denial is strong in many.
He's not really clean cut. I wouldn't call him full
No,
beta.
I mean, you're right. That was the wrong phrase.
I don't want the chaos. Okay. And Christos was right. He started speaking and chaos emerged. But
He's like a young guru in training, like a young Padawan.
Well,
we
here's
are
one thing
all-
I'd like you to be aware of, Jack.
Why?
You know, at the beginning of Talcott clips,
Why
you
do
were
I need to be
concerned-
aware of what you're telling me?
because I'm watching it happen in the chat as we're talking. I'm not old boying you, Jack. I'm saying, do you see this as we're talking? When you first, like, Talcott clips uses that clip of you saying that you're concerned with the existence of that channel. Then there went to the phase time where it was like, nah, he's cool, he's being respectful. It's actually an endearing thing. And now look at him. Look at him trashing your ass with your name and his channel name.
So what? What control do I have? He doesn't.
Well, I'm saying I don't respect
me.
that
Paul
dude because
doesn't respect
he's
me.
come
You
up
don't
on this
respect
channel.
me, Tommy. So yes, I know many people are choosing to use me as their content.
Jack,
To make
Jack, you
me
should
some
give him the
sort of joke.
Jack, sir, you should give him the opportunity to say why he said that, though, because he might have been bringing a good point up of why he felt of the optics that we all see. Because we see it happening just like you see it. He is defending you there, telling the truth about what he sees. We all see it.
See what?
Talcott Clips uses when your trigger points to make his videos, and they're funny as shit. But it's a Paul thing. And Paul acts like it's not. Paul acts like he doesn't encourage it. Isn't about it.
It's fascinating that this is my life. I'm coming on here not as some character, just as Jack, an honest man with a very interesting story. And you know what? I'm not whining about the channel. I actually, while there's been some actually, I thought, pretty inspiring quotes and inspiring words coming straight from my mouth, I thought those were selected out, some good points. And then it was put in the narrative to, turn it into a joke. But I'm not complaining because I love life. You guys can all do what you want. You can say what you want, think what you want, be what you want, as can I. And what I want to be is a man who has faith in God, who tries to share, my understandings of the love of the Christ, so that maybe we can create a world that might be worthy of the return of something like Jesus or whatever, any fantasy narrative you want to paint. I just think this world we live in, has driven everyone insane. The result.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I was just reading the chat. I do think that you should check and see if Christos has a wrench, that's a problem.
He did. It's been removed.
10-4.
Thank you. I'd forgotten that. And I've been pretty free with the wrench, and actually if people want the wrench, I'll share it. But these people that are duplicitous, that one day they're this way, the next day they're that, if they were learning different things which changed them, that's understandable. But what we've seen is the manipulative, backbiting, duplicitous nature of people who call themselves good people, like Paul, Moose, Christos to a smaller degree with me, but He hasn't been bad.
He's a snake. He's just a coward too.
Tommy, brother.
I think I figured out why I'm like wrecking every channel that challenges me. Hold on.
What?
Sorry, I was chewing. It's because from channel to channel, when you hear me speaking on like the wrong, it's the general, like the able words, the thing that applies to all of us. But from Jack to Paul to everybody else, it's me. He's saying stuff about me. Like even with you, Jack, when you're pointing out what Paul does to everyone, you're not pointing it out about everyone. You're just saying when he does it to you. Paul lies about me. He lies about all of us, motherfucker.
All right, Tom.
Yeah,
you're
a
right.
lot of us said that,
I'll
Tommy.
accept that. Hey, I'll accept that criticism of me. You're right. Although
Well,
I've
there's
tried.
a lot more to go than that if you want to get real.
You know what? Hey, at least you accept it, Jack, because that's true. Like some of us have said that. I mean, Didi's been very public about it. So have many of us. He doesn't think it's a lot of people, but I mean, it's probably
Those
his most.
Talcott clips. I see you in the chat. If you think you're a man, you little small town hick, show up on Steve's show tonight and face me like two men. Because we know you don't have a job. We know you need to get monetized off of Jack's folly. I'd like to see you try. And no, Paulie won't be there to talk for you.
Hey, guys. Christ,
Jack, this is me. Don't associate with it. I'm calling the dude out. Sorry if your feelings are stirred by it.
No, I'm not. Tom, I get it. Hey, guys, I want you to be.
Oh, I know it's not Talcott
Tom.
clips, and it won't be.
Tom.
It's really hard to have Tommy and Snaps on the panel at the same time.
I know
All right, I'll
it,
leave.
it really is. Thank you, Tom. And guys, I want you to be respectful, please. And welcome to the panel, Tarek. How you doing, brother?
Good. How are you,
Good.
Jack?
I hear you got put through the ringer.
I got what?
I hear you got grilled.
Grilled? No, I didn't get
Yeah.
grilled. Snapper had a question to ask, and I answered it. He took it the wrong way, and then that's why I'm here to explain the situation and make sure we're all on the same page. So nobody.
No. Everyone saw what you said and did, so don't blame this on me. Everyone saw what happened and what you did in your flip flop. Do not fucking say on Snafu misunderstanding.
I didn't
Okay.
see.
Okay, no problem. I don't flip flop. Here's the thing. Didn't I admit maybe I misunderstood or took it the wrong way in terms of me trying to help Jack in some way if I can, as being nice?
Well, tell you what, Tarek, we already discussed you a little bit before you showed up. I actually shared the observation earlier that I felt bad for you. I didn't appreciate the way that Paul represented you or me. But then, Tarek, I saw you joining with Paul about how insane and worthless and crazy Jack is. And I saw you being encouraged. Here, should I bring...
You don't have to. I know what I said. I don't flip flop like Snafu. I know what I said.
Well, what
If
I
you
was
want me to
thinking
explain?
about, what I was thinking about was this. You know, I saw how you were prepared to show up. So
Right.
Thank
Well,
you,
you have
Paul,
a
for
great
having me on the
opportunity
show.
here in a half an hour to go over there and correct the record and tell Jack Talcott how much of a
Oh,
fake
I
ass, bitch ass motherfucker that he is,
Oh,
and
you know-
that
you
he's
know what-
killing
but you know-
himself and everyone else
but-
with mental illness and delusions.
You there?
So what do
All
you
right,
think?
Jay. Well, there's nothing to think about. Here's exactly what happened and what I think and what I believe. And this is just my opinion, okay? I told you I've been watching you and Jack. I'm in Paul for a long time, so obviously I see traits from your personality and Jack's and Paul and everybody else. All right. Now, I align with Paul pretty much 100% on a lot of things. He's not perfect, but I align with him on a lot of the truth and a lot of what he brings to the table. And I never said I don't agree with anything you say. I never said that. I never said you're ignorant. I never said that. All I was saying is 2 days ago I said that to you on your channel, that I saw a look in your eyes that you were, because people were tricking you and whatever, that I did not like in terms of comfort out of love for you as a human being. I felt like you were almost
Tarek.
over the edge.
Tarek, when Paul said, "Hey, go over to Jackson, tell him he should be a bitch ass motherfucker, fake ass, blah 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 blah," is that what you came here to tell Paul? Because that's what you're nodding your head for
No,
daddy.
no, no,
earlier.
no, no,
You were
no.
saying
No,
it.
that's what you were telling.
You're
When Paul was calling you out for that, you were like shaking your head. Yep, I will. But you're here now. I'm just kidding. That's the opposite of what you were saying over at Paul's.
You're so wrong. I said I just told you. I aligned with
Tarek.
Paul almost 100%, right?
Yeah. Hey, Tarek.
And go ahead.
I saw how you're trying to play both sides.
I am not playing both sides. You're wrong.
Yeah. Well, then
So
here's okay.
go ahead.
Tell you what, Tarek, you're right. I'm being too generous with that offer that you're playing both sides when you have clearly chosen to be with the man who is against me.
I'm with the man that stands for the truth. You keep saying against me. That's between you and him.
Hey,
now
you better figure out what is true, Tarek.
Okay, so here's the truth.
Okay, so Tarek is you ignored what I said. The man who stands against me. Paul doesn't stand for the truth. You want to see an example of where you're wrong?
Go ahead.
Let's see. The man you claim speaks the truth.
Yeah. And I've said he's 100% perfect. Everybody is not God.
Point me to one thing. Here we go. I can't believe you're even piping up and defending this. Show me one motherfucking thing Jack Talcott has done for himself, his friends, his family, his community, or people online to show that he loves and cares about someone or something and is willing to sacrifice and do something to secure that. Show it to me, because it hasn't happened. He's been exiled by all the people around him and been disconnected from the community because he's a hateful, bitter, angry, fake-ass motherfucker.
But see, Tarek, that statement's not true because even you,
from the community,
flip-flopping yourself, are still here in the community with Jack Talcott.
Disconnected from the community because he's a hateful, bitter, angry, fake-ass motherfucker.
Tarek, is that true about me?
Okay, so let me answer, okay? Here's what I take from that, okay? Paul is stating from his perspective what he thinks of you in terms of what you have done for the community and what you preach. So for him saying you're fake is true, because at the same time...
Whoa.
Go ahead, I'll wait. I'm respectful. Go ahead.
Tarek, what is it? What is being discussed here? So there's no confusion.
Okay? Was it peace or something? Love? I didn't check
the word truth in the context of Paul Enslaved and Jack Talcott. You prior to me bringing up this clip, you made the statement that you stand for the man of truth, right?
Very
the
true.
Man who stands in truth. I'm telling you, you're standing with the man who chooses to oppose me. What we just heard him say is that I am only, okay? He didn't say only, but in the context of his narrow-minded, narcissistic views, I'm hateful, I'm bitter, he's literally describing himself.
Fake.
Yeah,
false.
Here, one more time.
Who from the community because he's a hateful, bitter, angry, fake-ass motherfucker.
Oh, you're an ass motherfucker too, Jack.
Fake
ass motherfucker, Jack.
I heard it. Hey, I heard it, Jack. So can I explain what
was Paul describing him or me?
You, not him.
Really?
And do you agree with that, Tarek? Do you agree with his statement?
Yes, let me explain to you.
Yes or no?
Yes, I agree. I agree. Let me tell you where I agree. So let me explain. For example, when he talks about fake or love or whatever, okay, you preach every day about love, faith, and your mission in life, and to bring people together or whatever. Okay. When you had Joseph the other day on, where we're talking about the rape and all that, right?
John.
John,
Yeah.
I'm
Oh,
sorry.
okay.
I'm sorry, John.
Tarek,
John.
I heard this argument over on Paul's. What you are literally doing is blaming me for what you witnessed John doing, and you guys distracted completely from my purpose, and you involved yourself in that bullshit.
Okay.
And yes, Tarek, I did not throw him off the panel for his foolish beliefs, because I wanted to actually talk to him and offer him more realistic things to consider. But you, by your choices, interrupted my purpose, my intention. And now today, you're going to go back and enable your bullshit buddy, Paul, saying that because of what you witnessed from someone else, that I am, what was his word?
I'm not
Bitter,
attacking you.
angry, a liar, manipulative,
Okay.
fake.
So lately, Jack, I'm gonna go one at a time because I don't want to lose you, because I'm going one at a time. So
You're not
lately,
listening. You've lost
I know.
yourself, Tarek.
No, I
What
am.
Here,
That,
where
go ahead.
the only thing that should be decided is what is true.
Okay. So the past
In
3
what
or
I've
4.
said, in what
Well,
I've
you should
said,
let him tell you why he thinks you're fake, Jack.
Go ahead.
You should let him tell you why he thinks you're
It's not
fake.
about that.
How
It's
am
not
I
about.
fake, Tarek?
Okay. Here's what I'm trying to explain to you when I keep interrupted. Okay. The fake part is when you say you stand for God and for love and all that, right? And like you said, the guy came on and we engaged in that situation. You allowed him to speak on stuff that was heinous, that was beyond control. You let it happen, no problem. The second day he came on, yesterday, I watched your show. You also let him talk, and you guys said love and peace like you guys were friends. That you can't do that with somebody that says I can rape your daughter and marry her, and I can't have sex with her
Hey,
for the
Tarek, you're taking his words out of context. He didn't say he could go rape your daughter. He was bringing up some bullshit narrative out of a book that is absolutely irrelevant to me, Tarek. And you know what? As I'm sitting here listening to your arrogance, I put you in the back, Tarek, because
well, he did come here to talk to you, Jack.
Snafu, hold on.
All right.
Tarek, for you to judge me off of what some fool says about nothing to do with you on this platform, yet you sit there next to Paul while he says bullshit that I've been asking you to fucking address. You sit there in denial while a clown like Paul and Wizard and all of these fools come up on Paul's platform to talk shit about me. And now, Tarek,
I'm waiting. Go ahead.
You want to judge me for what he did. Recognize the truth of your foolishness, Tarek.
Tarek, brother, you told me you wasn't
May I
against
say something, Jack? And Tarek, look, Tarek, I think you got a good heart. Like Flo was saying, I think you're not intentionally trying to do it, but I also don't think you're using your own intellect and discernment to understand. Like, there's games being played with Paul, who you're so obsessively like supporting.
Nobody cares about that, Snafu. Just hush up, man. Just hush up.
You just called Jack Talcott fake, and you don't know anything about the man, really, other than what he's presented to you on the media.
Okay,
you don't know one thing about the man Jack Talcott, and you called him fake. How do you presume that? Because Paul told you that?
No,
I didn't. You told me you wasn't against me, brother. You said
I don't even know what is this little John guy fucking babbling about, Talcott?
What did he say? I'm sorry, I didn't hear him.
You're calling Jack fake, and you told me at the end of that broadcast that you wasn't against me, but now I'm heinous and I shouldn't be brought back up.
No,
That's
hold on.
about
There's
right,
two. Yeah,
John.
no, there's two different.
That's
See how
true,
you?
John.
Yes.
That's
Hold
true.
on. There's two different parts to that. Now, when I ended the broadcast, remember I told you I have no hate and I have no love, and I didn't mean anything about your daughter or anything like that because I have respect for everybody. That's how you should be. Now, if I disagree with you on your belief, does not mean I hate you.
You
But
just
I
said they're
simply
fake.
heard
Well,
I'm an
Tarek,
idiot. I'm a moron.
Did I say
right.
you're a moron? I never said you're a
Tarek,
moron.
I'm heinous.
Tarek,
That's
I
not
you're,
said
hold
heinous.
on, hold on. Tarek, pay attention here. Snafu,
I'm
please
Go ahead.
mute up
I'm paying
for a sec.
attention.
Tarek,
Yep. Go
you
ahead.
came here to judge me and disparage me based on what you thought about John Thomas. You're ignoring the company you have been keeping and the horrible things Paul has been saying about me. What
You
is
think?
your
Go ahead.
explain? Where is your why don't you see what you why don't you see?
I can explain to you what you're trying to say. I already know what you're asking me. You're asking me if I'm just basing all that on John's statement. That's not true.
No,
I've been
I'm
watching.
asking why you're so in such denial. I'm
In,
wondering
whi-
why you are in such clear denial
in
about
which
the
denial?
negative influence Paul Unslaved has had
And in which way?
in my life, particularly. Let's keep it specific to me, even though I should be, according to previous criticisms, I should be standing up for people like Snafu and Illumitami as well, in the fact that Paul has been a disrespectful, negative, arrogant prick.
Hmm. So ask me the question and I answer for you.
So
Because
why
I
do
can
you
tell
think
you.
that's okay?
Okay. First, I'm not judging you. I'm telling you what I believe.
I don't
There's a big
care.
difference. There's a big
I'd
difference. I know
rather
you
you
don't care.
cared about what was true, Tarek.
Oh, okay. So believe
Well,
in
I
something
know. I'm
is
sorry,
the
I'm
truth.
nitpicking your words, but
You're right.
here,
Okay. So didn't I say the other day I was worried about when I saw a little bit thing in your eye and I thought you were mad because you've been mad for almost 4 or 5 days in a row. Taking people off the panel and stuff like that, and I was worried about that, right?
okay, I know. Hey, Tarek, please don't repeat. Okay,
Okay.
there's
What I'm
reasons
saying
why.
is, you asked. I know, but
Tarek, you're ignoring the reason for my frustration. Okay, and the frustration comes from people like you who want to come out of nowhere, no part of my life, to tell me, "Oh, this piece of crap Paul I found, he's much better than you, and you should kiss his ass like I kiss his ass." No, Tarek. I'm done. I'm done playing that fool for Paul. He's welcome to try and have a conversation, and maybe one day, if I see him being, actually in a good mood, maybe I might try approaching him for a conversation again. But guys, this is absolute nonsense. Tarek, here. This is the last time, and then I'm going to shut it down if it doesn't really work out the way I hope. Can we move past the past?
we we can, Jack. I'm not saying we can't, but sometimes you have to address it so we can move forward.
Right.
Like
And
you
I've
can't.
been trying to, Tarek, but you think I don't understand you, and I've been trying to get you to understand me. So I understand both of us very well. As a matter of fact, my
Okay.
thoughts, back to the topic of the video, my thoughts are on love. How can love be better communicated when people want to call me here, where'd it go?
Well, I think Tarek said it all. He said he believes you're fake because Paul says you're fake.
That has nothing to do with Paul again. Hold on. Snap will
No,
stop
it's your
interrupting. One
thoughts on what you believe now. It's what you
No,
believe.
no. Hold on.
Oh, hey,
Paul.
I
Go ahead.
did that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for bringing it back to Paul.
You're
He's
good.
not the only one. There's a lot of people in this world that have chosen to come out of the woodwork and offer a lot of assumptions and false narratives about me. I've been open about my story. Tarek, my life did not fall apart, as Paul says, and I did not live rent-free, mooching off of anyone, sucking off the government like he and your little monkeys want to believe. I actually worked my entire life very diligently, very honorably, and for whatever reason, my life became transformed. And so my plans were asked a long time ago, and I've been very clear about my plans. What's my plans for the future? Well, I've made some investments in growing me and learning how to grow business wise and stuff like this. I've got a lot of tools available for the execution. I hope to build the Live Without Fear brand. I hope to partner up and collaborate with other like-minded individuals who have the goal and purpose to create a better world rather than sit around and gossip and complain about the world. So business-wise, I have the purpose of building something greater. Personally, I am still pursuing trying to restore my relationships, maybe pick up the pieces of my past life, like my family, try and restore my reputation where, again, I have been wrongfully accused, misunderstood by people who were unwilling to listen. Like Paul, like many others. Paul's just the newest example for public display. But it is my purpose and part of my plan to restore my past to some degree, and while repairing and restoring the relationships with my family, I still hope to restore my reputation with the public records as well. I am not dangerous to others as I have been wrongfully publicly accused of, and I don't care what people think. So my plan, as I've also said, is along the ways of restoring my family, building the business, coordinating and collaborating with other like-minded people. I trust there's people out there who think like me instead of this bullshit that I've been dealing with here. But the plan is to bring peace to the world, to end slavery. But the plan starts with small steps, and I keep working every day. As a matter of fact, when this is done, I will be pursuing imagined opportunities in my community and going out to see what God might reveal.
And I hope whatever you plan, Jack, it works out for you. Like I told you the other day, I have no hate for you. I have nothing but love. And I wish you the best always. Just because I disagree with you on some things or where you stand on some stuff, it does not mean I hate you or wish you that.
I know.
That's
but here.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt, Tarek.
No, you're good. I'm listening.
I want you to know I do respect you. Okay. I think you've been honest and authentic about many things, but in my life, I don't know why this thing is beeping. It's not Discord. But sorry. But for whatever reason, our paths have crossed. And Tarek, you've brought some beliefs forward, and I trust you don't have ill intent for me, but for the love of God.
No, I don't. Not at all. No,
eventually, what I hope is that people will be grateful for the fact that, and I'm not God complex, but I do hope to change people's lives, help their lives improve. And I do hope that eventually people will be grateful for the fact that they got to know me, that they were allowed to discover what I was sharing.
So let me get this straight, though. You think that Paul's absolutely right about his judgments about Jack and what he says about Jack?
Like, I can't say. Okay, I don't know exactly how he feels in terms of everything.
He told you today what he said. I'm just curious. I want to make it
Okay.
straight. So when you go on this panel next time, and you try
No,
and I'm there or whoever's there, you don't like backtrack from what just happened here and what you said.
No,
I'm just being fair, Jack. I'm not trying to say anything. I'm just being fair because Tarek, I get you. I agree. I think you're ill intentional. I think you're a decent guy. I'm a little shocked at some of the optics I see with how you're so submittable to just anything he says.
That's
And
not
that's
true.
all fair.
I just told you that. That's what I'm trying to explain to you.
And by the
It's
way, my
not-
bunk bed partner, Goblin Creature, what's up?
What's going on with you, bro? Hope all
Anyways,
is
big
well.
Goblin. I'll be quiet, Jack, because I
Thank you.
agree. I agree, but I do also think, Tarek, I hope you don't change your story.
No, see, I'm gonna say it so I can put it on the record. Stop saying, Snafu, that I said that and I go on Paul. I'm telling you right now what Paul thinks of Jack, because I don't know exactly to what extent. That's Paul's opinion, right? Just because I align with him on the truth does not mean I feel the same way exactly as Paul about Jack. Now, I said I think he's fake sometimes in the way he perceives himself. Yes, I did, and I still do. And I said I saw some
That's
mental
fair.
illness.
That's fair.
Hold on.
That's fair, Tarek.
I know,
Oh,
and I
yeah.
said,
Hold on.
I said,
Yeah, let's get into this. You and Paul want to spread this bullshit that I'm showing signs of mental illness. You ignorant motherfucker. Let's explain that. Let's call that into play, Tarek.
I can explain to you why I said that. What I felt. That's what I believe. Is it right, wrong? I'm gonna tell you why.
Why do you believe? Why do you choose? Why does Tarek choose to believe that Jack is suffering from mental illness?
Okay, now I didn't say mental illness to the fullest. I'm telling you, I saw signs. I saw. Hold on, I saw.
Did you? I specifically. What
Okay,
do you believe were signs?
I'm gonna answer for you. The past week especially, you've been so angry on so many things, and I can see like the hate and the eyes rolling and the hands and a lot of things going on.
Hold on. All right, Tarek. So you're seeing hate. You're seeing emotional reactions as your evidence of insanity.
Mental illness, Jack.
No, let me tell you. I'll tell you why. Let me explain. When you preach, hold on. I'm gonna explain them why. Let me explain them why.
You are pissing me off right now. Keep going.
Okay, I'm gonna explain to you why I see that. No,
go ahead.
You can see. You called me everything. Am I triggered? I'm not triggered. So I'm explaining to you.
You have a lack of care.
Hold on. All I'm saying to you is because you promote yourself on a different panel saying that you are all for God and you're trying to improve everybody's life, and when you show those signs, they don't fit. Something is wrong mentally.
I've never heard Talcott say he's God.
Please. This is what I've been dealing with for a long time now, okay?
Go ahead.
So you're blaming me for the reactions you see. So, yes, I will own my part, my accountability, that I can stop caring. I can stop being emotionally involved in my life and the outcome of my life. You're right. I've been working to do so. Now, Tarek, where is the accountability for the other people? Unless you want to paint the narrative. Unless you want to paint the narrative that I'm just unprovoked, all of a sudden lashing out and trying to hurt people. Is that the garbage you want me to believe?
Did I say you were trying to hurt people? Never said that.
Well, okay, so bring in the circumstances. What are the other pieces involved?
Okay. Here's the other pieces also that align with that as well. Where I said,
what are the other pieces involved that might produce the reaction I am being judged for?
What? Because
what are the mitigating circumstances? Are there no mitigating circumstances, or you're just focused on the judgment and condemnation?
No, I'm not. I get what.
Remember, is my sanity.
Yeah. Okay, I get where you're going with this. People trigger you. People try to take you a certain way sometimes and stuff like that. I get it. But Jack, look at me right now. For example, I'm just speaking for me, not for you. Everybody's different. You can call me every name. Flow State one time called me whatever, snafu whatever. Do you see me getting triggered?
So
I
what?
don't.
Hey,
Do you see
Tarek,
me?
so what?
You see me
Hey,
going?
Tarek, yep, you're back to your ego. And look at me. I'm so much better than Jack. And since I'm
No,
better
I'm
than
not
Jack,
saying
I
that.
get to judge him as being insane. So,
I'm
Tarek,
not saying that.
you've seen me react. You've seen me remove people from the panel. You've not recognized my explanations. My
No,
explanations saying, hey, I'm here for a purpose and you guys are interfering with the purpose. Your disagreements aren't helpful, aren't healthy, aren't necessary.
I have recognized that. I didn't say it. That's why I
Okay.
said not to
Okay.
the fullest.
But again, the topic I'm trying to get through is your accusation siding with your daddy that I'm insane.
Again, I
Jack,
can't say. I
Jack,
Symptoms
can't.
of mental illness.
listen, man. Jack, it's not that, bro. I've noticed this, there's patterns in this reality, all right? And it's because you have a more mental type of conversation, the way that you reach and converse with people versus other individuals that might have better socializing skills and things of this matter.
You're
But
right.
that's just my input. Go ahead.
Hey, Goblin,
So,
that's true about me.
So you're saying Jack has more mental awareness than Paul in terms of Paul having more social awareness? Is that what you're saying?
I
Tarek,
believe so. I do.
hey,
I believe
Tarek,
so.
if you bring
So,
intelligence into self-awareness
mhm.
and presence, because the only time we live is right now, right? Paul goes off in his imaginations and narratives and just takes over. I'm actually a man of peace who, yes, thank you, Goblin. While my social abilities interacting with people, warming up, maybe aren't the best. I actually, and I know one of my downfalls is I'm so confident and so trusting that I open up, and you know, then people don't know how. That's fucking weird, man. You can't trust someone who's like that. They must have an agenda. They're out to hurt me. It's a bunch of fucking cowards. People making fun. People have chosen to make fun of what they don't understand. And that applies to me and many other people and things in the world. Guys, for us to all evolve and mature, we've got to start understanding. And the only way we're going to understand ourselves and each other is if we have that intention that I'd rather be accurate than be right. Okay? And that's how I am. I'd much rather be truthful than to prove someone I'm right and they're wrong. Who gives
Yeah,
a
I don't think
shit?
so. It's not about right or wrong. It is about the truth, and
Okay,
that's why. Go ahead.
so Tarek, I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
It is about the truth. And the message of what I was offering today, right? We're
Mhm.
here on this world to know God. In life, our purpose is to know God. And here on this world, we have the blessings to know of the Christ,
Mhm.
right? That
Yeah.
is something amazing. And the Christ is that eternal beingness of perfection and life. And the Christ is within me. The Christ is within you, each of us.
Everybody. Yeah.
Well, if that's true, then we should not be running around. Do I need to replay Paul's blasphemy and
You
nonsense?
don't need to.
Right.
Not again. If you're doing that to Paul, I can bring Paul's, for example, stuff where you went crazy and
Hey,
you did the
Tarek.
same thing. So we're
No,
not going there.
Tarek, I have addressed his behavior. I haven't imagined false fucking narratives or said, this is why his dad did that to him. This is why the police did that to him. I didn't do any of that bullshit. I haven't called him a liar except for his false conclusions and false narratives about me, perhaps his father, perhaps others. I know others.
Yeah.
So, hey guys, Paul's nothing special. He's not, I mean, he is. He's a special, character. He's a very gifted young man. I don't put that aside. But the value, when I know for a fact I'm a special man, I'm gifted. God has blessed me with many things, talents, and wisdoms as well. I know when Paul and I come together, his focus brings our value to the fucking gutter. We're not offering anything of value to the audience when we come together. Not anymore. It's been a long time. And so, Tarek, when you saw the shift in me, it was because I've been giving up on Paul. I used to have faith in him. I used to hold hope that his potential would rise above his ego. Fuck him. He can live in his ego the rest of his life.
Let's not forget the fact that you and Paul have spent many panels together, bringing, forms of, ideas and, philosophy. But just like y'all was saying, at the end of the day, it's about truth. And I don't think that either one of you are wrong. I find value in both of you in different ways, which
Thanks,
that's okay.
Well, thank you. I agree. I know for a fact, well, whether Paul joins me or not, I will eventually partner up with others who have talents that I don't, and we will build something incredible. I've invited Paul to join. Oh, and here, since I'm correcting some of these records, Paul wants to, I've seen him say, well, Jack's got my trademark. I've had Live Without Fear for years. For Paul to accuse me of not living my brand is disrespectful, foolish, and an absolute lie. Now, the Love Without Fear, admittedly, came from inspired conversations. I don't think it was Paul. I think it might have been Moose, but it evolved from a generic conversation of Paul publicly slandering me, telling me how Live Without Fear is not right. I invested in the trademark of Love Without Fear, thinking that foolish punk might see the value in working with me. I don't steal shit. I don't steal anything. If anything, I'm too generous. So, Tarek, if you can't see the difference between Paul's selfishness, his character, his pretending to care, if you can't see the difference between that character and the authentic man who I am, who is generously saying to the world, guys, we can do better. We don't have to spend our days complaining or fighting against each other. There's greater enemies in our world. It's called the principalities and the rulers in high places, the thought beliefs.
Oh, speak on them principalities, Speak a bit more on that, because a lot of people forget about those. Those are those demons they tell us about. Principles, morals, values. Where did all that go out the window, right? Oh, okay. Just checking.
So you're saying Paul doesn't have principle, doesn't stand for the truth?
I'm not saying that he doesn't stand for the principles or the truth. I already went down this road. I told you I find value in both of them in different ways. One has a gift of gab that knows how to socialize quite a bit more than the other, which the other has a lot more self-actualization more than even awareness, Maslow's law. So just like Jack was saying right now, we waste all this time pinned up against each other when that's true.
Hey,
that's true.
Amen. Thank you, Goblin. The principalities and the rulers, that is our belief systems. Every one of us have these shadow rulers within us until we free ourselves. And Tarek, I've said this before, Paul demonstrates selfishness. It's his truth, his rights, his freedom, his property. I don't. The
That's his
time.
Go ahead.
The time we
Hey,
have.
bro, I gotta go. I gotta go eat dinner. I was just checking in for a minute, man.
Hey,
I hope all is well. Do what y'all do. You know?
thank you.
Thank
Thank you for joining, Goblin. God bless. And actually, Tarek, thank you as well.
No,
I'm
of
gonna
course.
wrap
Yeah,
up.
go ahead.
I'm gonna wrap up pretty soon, unless you've got some other
No,
idea.
no. All I'm saying is, Jack. Again, did I say you're a criminal? Did I say you're killing people? Did I say you're, I never said none of those. All I said to you, I see traits of l- mental illness a little bit from my perspective because I also been there when I was going through stuff in my life a little
Well,
bit, and I
Tarek,
see it.
I'm sorry to
And
interrupt, Tarek,
go
but
ahead, go ahead. You're fine.
you're sitting here defending your beliefs that you see mental illness in me because that topic was brought up by other people who actually have never actually evaluated me, actually had a question and answer. I'm happy to answer any questions about the symptoms you've described, but brother, what I know for a fact about the patterns of our mind, the way
Hmm.
ego and spirit work together,
Yeah.
you're you're projecting.
Okay. How
You're,
about this? Forget projecting, right? Didn't God, Christ, or any, you can name anything? Didn't they say you can find a man just by looking in his eyes, the soul?
if you're
All you gotta,
honest,
yeah. If you are a truthful person and you have Christ in you, for example, if you look at somebody and you are that person, you can know when somebody's lying and not lying by looking at their eyes. That's all you
you
gotta
can
do.
you can assume, you can
You can feel that
interpret,
energy. You can feel
you
that
can
energy.
you can interpret, but here's what I'm telling you, Tarek. God
Yeah.
has been using me in my life. You guys happen to be part of my life. God has been using me with many, many different people that want to clearly accuse me of their patterns of behavior. Okay. That's what Paul was doing with me earlier. In that clip I kept showing, he's revealing the truth of himself. Okay. Tarek, when you're projecting the mental illness, the symptoms, brother, you're showing signs of denial. The fact that you don't want to consider the problems that Paul is showing, the fact that you kind of dance around, hey brother, I'm saying this with care, and maybe it's my eye
This is fine.
sees things that others may not, okay? But
This is fine. Yeah.
I know that God has placed me on my path for my own perfection. I have damn high standards for myself. Okay.
Which you should.
So maybe that is why I see others. But Tarek, denial is a son of a bitch. Okay. And the denial only exists in our disbelief, in our doubts. The way to overcome disbelief and doubts is to make a decision. What is true? And sometimes it's scary to make a decision. Here's where a lot of people, I'm going to bring this into a bigger context for my own experience regarding
Go ahead.
God,
Yeah.
right? I went through most of my life claiming to be agnostic, right? I chose not to choose. I didn't want to commit myself to being an atheist. I didn't want to commit myself to being any religion. I chose not to choose, and I stayed willfully ignorant, right?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
So what it comes down to is in our hearts, we're afraid of being wrong. Many of us are, okay? Especially in this world we live in where punishments and all this crap are in our memories. We're afraid to be wrong. And especially when it comes down to God. But
I'm not afraid of being wrong. If you're wrong, you correct
that's
yourself.
amen. Tarek, that's the key. And so allowing ourselves to be wrong, even when we believe we're right, that's at least intellectually in our minds. That's where meditation and reflection, contemplation can come in real handy. We can imagine ourselves being wrong in order to see the perspective of what that might look like. I've been doing this a lot myself. It's damn. One of the discussions I was listening to recently talked about it.
I think you
Like,
talked about it, yeah, 2 days ago or something.
I don't know.
But
Brother,
good.
what I'd offer you is where you don't know, where you find yourself, I don't know. Try to look at both sides, see if there is a way to know. Sometimes the answer is I just don't know. There's not enough information. There's no way for me to know the totality.
Yeah.
But
But there's
when it comes,
pattern. Good.
I was going to say, when
Yeah.
it comes down to people,
Mhm.
honestly, when you're evaluating what you know of someone,
Mhm.
bring the mind of Christ into those thoughts. Seriously.
I do, and I also bring patterns, Jack. I see patterns. It's very important. Patterns and how you do things, how you like react to things, how you do things on a daily basis, what you say one day, like for example, what you say the other day. For example, one thing, okay, that I have experienced in my life, and that's why I don't go to mosques or churches or anything like that anymore, is because they have perfected great speakers, for example, to fool people in their own ways, to contribute for them to get richer and whatever message they want to put on people, they want to. They're getting funded by big corporations. Now, I also see sometimes, for example, where people like, for example, you or any other people are trying to preach about God. I see it because I have seen it before, and I see those people being hypocrites. And
Hey,
again, I'm not saying
Tarek.
you're a hypocrite.
Okay. Does Paul show any hypocrisy between his words and deeds, religious or otherwise? You see any
Paul
hypocrisy?
Paul doesn't claim that he's a religious guy. He claims that
Are you
I
kidding
am that
me,
I am.
Tarek? Tarek,
Huh.
he claims to be walking the way of
Yeah,
the
the
way,
way.
is what
Yeah.
Paul's claiming. He's claiming to be the Christ personified. Are you fucking
Yes.
kidding me?
No, I agree with you on that sense, but he does not preach about any other like church or religions or whatever or the book.
No, he preaches hate and contempt,
That's not true.
claiming to be
I,
the Christ.
I disagree with you
Oh
on
my
that.
God. Hey, Tarek,
I'm just saying I disagree with
I'm
you. It's
gonna
not
wrap
no
this,
big deal.
not
See what I'm
because of the
saying? That's
conversation,
like a
but because
sign
of the
for I
time.
know, but okay. See like how I disagree with you right now, and you like right away you want to end the broadcast, which is fine. That to me does not fall into a man that is into God every day and that has control
Okay,
over
so Tarek,
himself.
all right, so Tarek,
I'm not triggering you.
let's
I'm not
play your
triggering you.
narrative. Let's play your narrative.
Yeah.
So for me to be a man of God in your eyes,
Hmm.
how long must I continue a panel where people want to disagree with me?
How long? I
If
think
I want to
no.
be a man of God, how
I'll tell
long
you how
do I
long.
continue to deal with denial?
Okay. Here's the problem. I think you're having with that question is you and Paul are not specifying the main issue or the main root of the issue why this is going back and forth, and then you're having a lot of people on either panel, you know, fight for you or fight
No,
for Paul,
no,
and that's what's
Tarek,
happening. I think there's a
Tarek,
lot of that going
Tarek,
on.
you're totally nope. You're missing the boat. So,
Okay, so
hey,
so tell
brother,
me
I
what is
love
it?
you.
Tell me
I
tell
love
me what
you.
is it then? Tell me what is it? What am I
The
missing?
question was, well, you want to sit here on my panel after claiming to know me, again,
Not
presenting
to the
me as
fullest.
not a man of God, because you think a man of God would continue. But since I chose because I recognize your continuing patterns of disagreement, your continuing patterns of denial. I've even brought up your patterns of denial, but you don't want to address those. So
No, that's not, you can address them. That's no problem.
here's where we at. When I've reached that conclusion that you're content in being in your denial and maintaining the same views you had from before, I know my life is better spent, casting pearls before swine, or trying to present what doesn't want to be received. And if you're not ready to receive what I have to offer, don't blame me for wanting to go on with my life and have more enjoyable ways with my time, Tarek.
No, I want the best for
Okay?
you. And again, if I'm in denial, if you think I'm in denial,
I do.
again, I'll. Okay, no problem. You tell me where I'm in denial, and I'll self assess myself tonight, and tomorrow I can, if I think that's true, I'll go from there. But again, this is not a panel where we're all discussing our all our personalities. That shouldn't be about that. The thing with
I agree.
you that comes out without the personality, forget the personality for a second. Like I tell you, I see traits myself or character that are not fitting with the godly thing that you're preaching.
What
That's
specifically? What specifically?
okay. If you preach every day about God,
Yeah.
you've been losing so much of your anger, swearing, fuck this, fuck all, fuck that, swearing,
Okay. All right.
kicking people off the panel.
Okay.
That's not God. That's not
Yeah,
Christ.
Tarek, you're right. You're right. But let's go back and how are people treating me? Okay,
Then
there's
you
certainly, like you
take them.
said, hey, Tarek, like you said, there's occasions where I don't present myself as a man of God or a follower of Christ because I bring up some profanities and my temper, my emotions start to rise. You're right. I do fail on occasion.
We all
But
do.
here's where your denial comes in. Oh, way too many.
I said no. We all fail, and my
Okay,
perspective,
all
we
right,
all have some
okay,
failing.
all right. Yep, we all do have our occasional
Yeah.
slips and stuff like that. But have you seen anyone treating me as though um
Like
tell you
with
what,
love.
as though
Yeah.
I might be what I claim to be, as though I might be a man who is educated and wise, as though I might be
Oh,
a man who has love and value to share.
I
See,
never said you're not educated. I
well,
admitted that your
but
show.
Tarek, right, Tarek. Now you're back to arguing instead of understanding why that was brought up. Okay, Tarek, if you would look for the good in me, you would maybe understand why I've reached levels of frustration with the people like Paul and others. If for you to be confused about that at this stage, Tarek, I honor you and the man you are. You go out of your way to show support for me and Paul. And I don't want you to get judged and blamed for supporting the wrong guy. We're here to support each other. Okay. And I encourage those who want to support Paul, but please recognize the damn truth. The damn truth is complaining about each other, making fun of each other, even if it's the people in government, complaining and making fun of what is real life going on. Come on now. Come on. I'm a fun guy, brothers and sisters, but my heart and my mind are damn serious. I'm damn serious about what I want to know, what I want to achieve, and I'm damn serious about what I love. And brothers and sisters, I love God. And many people want to present all sorts of nonsense accusations and false narratives about me. And I trust many who maybe aren't in the chat, maybe just tune in and out, or maybe catch later. I trust you guys do know the truth and you see the value. And today, brothers and sisters, I wanted to offer thoughts on love. Much of the time turned into common challenges that several of us have been facing. But the idea of love and God, and this is the message that I was coming with today. We're here to know God, and seriously to know Christ. It is our role, it is our opportunity to better know God, to carry the cross of who we are, the burdens of what we have done and what has been placed upon this. Carry those burdens and the burdens of others with honor, with faith. As long as you stand purely in the truth, in the praise of God, the praise of life, the encouragement, the inspiration of Christ, that is. Serious human people, man, they're fascinating. But this is the life our Creator allows. So I am going to hopefully go meet, I don't know. I'm going to go meet the future of today. And it is Friday. So, brothers and sisters, enjoy your day. Celebrate the weekend, perhaps. Celebrate today. Celebrate being you. And then find someone to celebrate with. And maybe give someone else a reason to celebrate. I mean, couldn't that be fun? What if we all started doing that? Just finding someone and giving them a reason to celebrate being them? I don't know. Or just go along and continue finding people to gang up on and make fun of, whatever. God bless. Peace for everyone. And should God allow, I believe a world of peace may be found. It starts within.